Hi, welcome to Mrs. Park's Algebra 1 class. This is section 2 of chapter 5, Solving Inequalities by Multiplication and Division. Okay, so last section we learned how to solve inequalities by adding and subtracting, and this section is just multiplying and dividing. Okay, multiplication property of inequalities. If both sides of a true inequality are multiplied by a positive number, the resulting inequality is also true. So that's saying if you multiply by c on each side, a is greater than b, and if you multiply by c on each side, a times c is actually still greater than b times c. Okay, so that's the same. For example, 6 is greater than 3.5. If you're multiplying by 2 on each side, 12 is still greater than 7. Okay, but now this is where it gets a little bit trickier. If both sides of a true inequality are multiplied by a negative number, okay, so by a negative number, okay, so if you're multiplying by a negative number, this is where it gets a little bit trickier. Oh, okay. The direction of the inequality sign is reversed to make the solution inequality also true. So when you're multiplying by a negative number, and actually it's true for dividing as well. So if you're multiplying by a negative number, okay, direction of inequality reversed. The sign is reversed. Okay. So if you have a is greater than b and you're multiplying by c on each side, now it's a times c is actually less than b times c. So you have here 7 is greater than 4.5, which is true. But when you multiply by a negative number on each side, so 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. 4.5 times negative 3 is negative 13.5. So in this case, actually, negative 13.5 is greater. So the sign is reversed to the other side. Just think of it as flipping the sign. Okay, when it's negative, you flip the sign. All right, let's try some examples here. Alright, so you have here negative 3 over 7 r is less than 21. Okay, so what we're going to do here, you're going to multiply by the inverse, opposite inverse. So you're going to multiply by negative 7 over 3 to get rid of the negative sign and to also get rid of the 3 over 7. R is less than, now you're actually going to multiply by negative, so this sign is going to be reversed to a greater than sign. So I'm going to just flip that right now, and you have still on the right side 21 times negative 7 over 3. Okay, so what does that do? That cancels out everything on the left side. 7, 7, 3, 3, negative, negative makes it positive. So you have r now is greater than 21 times negative 7 over 3. Okay, so 3 goes into 7, or 3 goes into 21 7 times. Now I have negative 7 times 7, which is negative 49. Okay, so now you have r is greater than negative 49. Okay. Alright, so this is exactly the same as division. It's the same for multiplication. So you multiply by a positive number, it's still the same. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, the sign is reversed. Okay, so I'm not going to go over that since we just did it with multiplication. Okay. Okay, so here you have 60t is greater than 8. So just like how we would solve an equation, you're going to just divide by 60 on each side. That's gone. Now you have t is greater than 8 over 60. which in case if you simplify is t is greater than 2 over 15. Now in this case, the sign didn't change because we didn't divide by anything by a negative number. It was a positive, so we'll just keep the sign as it is. Let's try one with a negative number. Okay, so let's try number 3c. Okay, so negative 12h is greater than 15. And you're going to divide by the negative 12 there. So when you're dividing by a negative, you're going to have to flip the sign. So now it's less than 15 over negative 12, which is, if you simplify, goes 3, goes in 5 times, 3 goes in 4 times. So negative 5 over 4. Okay. So it's the exact same thing as solving equations, only with inequalities, if you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, you are to flip the sign and make it reverse. Okay, so thanks for watching. Make sure you watch the next video for 5 to practice.